Now, as I've said, this is a problem because what I will call the outside-in construct. If you consider this oval, the outside world, everything outside of you, and compare that with the inside world, everything inside of you, many of us live our lives predominantly outside in. That is, before we speak, before we act, we think about what others might say. How will they react? What will be their response? Will they accept what I'm trying to do? And again, this could be in interpersonal relationships, it can be in one-on-many relationships, it can even be with regard to the entire employee base or the population of a nation. We think about what others will find acceptable, given what they expect. And of course, those expectations are frequently consolidated in organizational or national cultures. So a culture is a set of shared vabes. When people share their values, assumptions, beliefs, and expectations about the way the world is or should be, it's a culture. And people who try to lead in small, medium, or large scale, people with shared beliefs and assumptions, they have to pay attention to what those vabes are. And this leads to the tendency to live outside in. Now, living outside in is not bad. It's the basis of civilization. If we didn't coordinate and if we didn't play with others together, we couldn't have governments, societies, organizations, and so forth. So living outside in is not all bad. It's the basis of society. At the same time, it's based on the fear of rejection. So we live outside in because we fear other people's negative judgments. The opposite, of course, would be living inside out, where we assert our point of view on the outside world. So if we think about the balance in your life or in an organization, but particularly in your leadership profile, between living outside in and inside out, let's consider a little scale. So over here we have 0% inside out. These would be people who are mindless, wishy-washy, spineless. They have no opinions of their own. At this end of the scale, we would have narcissistic, self-centered, egocentric SOBs, people who don't listen to what other people have to say. So question number one, how much of your life do you live inside out? And how would you make that assessment? Well, you might think about how frequently before you speak, or when you get dressed, or before you raise your hand in a meeting, or you open your mouth to say something, how much are you consciously or semi-consciously thinking about what they would say? Do you censor? Do you modify or change your behavior at level 1 in order to fit your level 2 thoughts about what the others are expecting and what they will find acceptable? So if you wanted to be a leader in society, second question, where should you be on this scale? So write that number down. If you wanted to be a leader in society, where should you be on this scale? Now, most people will say somewhere in this third quartile, above 50%, but still 25% open to listening and learning what other people's opinions and ideas are. And that seems to make sense. In my experience, most people live down in here somewhere. That is, they sort of wait for the world to tell them what's okay and what's not okay. And that has some good results. Again, it's the basis for civilization. On the other hand, if you live too much outside in, you'll never be in a position to lead or influence others to change things from the way they are. My experience with many corporate executives is that they tend to be up in this arena. For example, working with Jack Welch at GE and the workout effort in the 90s, it was clear that he had pretty clear opinions about how to run the business. People respected that and admired his ability to the point where he was named in the business media as the most successful executive of the 20th century. At the same time, he had very strong opinions. He also acknowledged that he didn't understand all the answers. So he had to, he said, develop a more outside-in perspective that would allow people who were closer to the issues to really suggest how to solve them.